Titles, go.
The burger toilet correlation.
You just did.
Stealing goats.
Birthday cornhole.
Zooming.
Cow speech.
Stay on target.
Spurted across the internet.
Where is Jack in relation to me?
Middle, bottom.
Your white privilege is showing.
Do we eat pineapple?
Weaponized loofah?
Dollar cheeseburgers.
Boonta Eve partay.
Yeet the penguin.
Thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit.
What about Austin Powers?
The Weinstein of kid actors.
Okay, I can't remember the middle one you gave me.
Of course not.
Put it down.
I'm doing it on purpose.
All
right.
Here you go. Nice.
All right. Let's do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello, welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
Corbs.
I'm Kev. Hi.
I'm Jack.
And I'm TC.
Guys, what's got you geeked?
All right, so I don't have a geek this week. It's been challenging, suffering from some gastro issues, as I told the guys off mic. Do have some exciting things to talk about in video game and TV, but I want to leave you guys with an example of finding humor in a really bad situation. So I'm going to tell you guys that a few weeks ago, my brother passed away. I don't want sorries or anything, just roll with it. Found out on a Friday, we were out grocery shopping, got the phone call that he passed and they'd harvested his organs. And I'm okay. You know, it's sad, but you know, we didn't have a close relationship, whatever. I was prepared for it. Get home, Avery gets off the bus and I go, listen, Avery, before you come into the house and start being a complete asshole to me like you do every other night, I just wanted to let you know my brother passed away today. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. And she goes, what's happening now? And I go, well, since your grandmother is, you know, in the nursing home with dementia, I have to take care of it. So I talked to them and it's going to take some time for the crematorium to open up. So they're going to ship him back and we're only going to have to store the body in the back room for 1, maybe 2 weeks max until there's a slot at the crematorium. And you know, that record scratch sound you see in movies sometimes, she goes, made it like a squeak. It just stopped and froze. I didn't make her believe that for a while, but it was just nice to be able to get an evil dig out of something awful that she is going to remember for the rest of her life, and I know that I am as well.
Not only her,
Absolutely hilarious.
yeah, not only her, we're gonna remember it for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Feel free to use that the next time you have a loved one that dies.
That's a great idea.
I'm all out.
Fresh out.
You're out of loved ones?
Hey, I'm almost there with you, Kev. I also found out my sister has a brain tumor and it looks bad. So,
Oh, you saw it?
Well, no, she called me and told me about it.
Oh.
But it looks like the Allens are dropping like flies, but this shit happens in threes. So I'm hoping the next one hits my mom and not me.
Jesus.
Oh my
Get
god.
home.
Pretty morbid, but all right.
You can
Oh,
hold.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm tired of the phone calls accusing me of stealing her goats and putting them in my luggage. So, I mean, there's just really nothing positive happening there at this point.
She has baby goats?
No,
Shit,
she
if you
doesn't.
got-
No.
She has
Oh.
dementia.
If you got goats and they're putting into your luggage, remember, next time we're in sets for D&D, Paul needs a goat.
No, I mean,
We
she
need some
literally was
fucking
like,
goats.
you need
Kevin
to get
needs a
your
goat.
shit. She's like, you need to get your shit together. And you took my goats. I know you did. I saw them in your luggage. I don't pack your luggage. I didn't put them there.
Just tell her it was Kevin.
Oh jeez.
Anyway,
Kevin took
moving
your
on.
fucking goats.
Jeez.
All right, I got something. I gotta get this out. And I think Paul knows this. I don't know if any of you other guys do. In August, there is a phenomenal thing happening. Celebration, Star Wars celebration that we went to. Jack and I went to get at the same time, not together because we never did actually see each other there. I'm not even sure he was actually there, to be completely honest. I was there.
Yes, I was there too. But
Anyway, so Rob and I, my uncle Rob, who listens to the show, we meet this guy in line to get into Disney. Mike is his name. He was with another friend of his, and they were going in to do whatever, see Disney, go to Galaxy's Edge, whatever. And they were talking, and Mike had this, brilliant blue button-up shirt on. It was all special Star Wars, whatever. So he was a big Star Wars fan. I could tell immediately. Listened to him talk, overheard some of the conversation. So of course I had to, stick my big fat nose in there and, instantly made friends with this guy because that's the kind of guy he is. I've talked about him before. Anyway, him and his buddy Spencer have this family vacation, the Star Wars family vacation thing going on. They've got this website, that I've talked about before, where they have all these 60,000 plus members, and it's just this great thing where they talk about celebration. They talk about, every time there's a celebration, well, they put this family vacation together. They're going to have 3 locations, Anaheim, LA, and San Francisco. And there's going to be different events. There's going to be Bunta Eve events at each location. And there's going to be, Galaxy's Edge, and there's going to be all this really great stuff going on. Well, these different Bunta Eve celebrations at these different locations all have celebrities. And they've been announcing the celebrities throughout the past week or so, because now they've got all this ticket sales done. Everybody's going that's going to go. And they're talking about all these different people that are going to be there. Misty Rosas, who played Queel and Frog Lady. She was the live action actress that did those, and a few of the other Ugnaughts in later Mandalorian shows. They were announced today. One of the original Jawas, a woman and her daughter are both going to be there. They've announced creators and actors, and the stunt double for Pedro Pascal that did The Mandalorian. He's going to be there. I forget his name. I'm sorry. I don't have all the list of names in front of me, but all these amazing people are going to be there, and we get a chance to meet them and, rub elbows with them and talk to them and get their signatures and pictures. And it's just getting better and better and better and better and better and better all the time. So, a cool thing that happened, and I shared this with Paul. They've offered other shirts, but we've gotten into those shirts, but they just offered these hockey jerseys. So Kathy and I look at these hockey jerseys, and, they're special for the event, the special logos and stuff they put on them. And Kathy and I get talking about it. We're like, oh yeah, we should get these hockey jerseys and we should put our name on them because they want to know your name and your number. So we do my last name. Both of us do our last name, and we do our year of birth, 69 and 70. They make a big deal out of it. They have a lot of fun with that. Oh yeah, Kevin got 69, whatever. funny. Spencer gets me on the side. This is Mike's buddy, and he goes, my friend and I got our names and 36 and 37. For those of you that like Clerks and have spent some time watching Clerks, go back and Just do a Google search, and you could watch Clerks, or you could do a Google search for 36 and 37, and you will understand how important Veronica is to those two numbers, and the fact
Yep.
that Spencer, with his jersey with 37 on it, has a picture with Veronica at a con.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
That's
very
awesome.
that's
funny.
awesome. I
Very,
understand the reference.
very funny. Just very,
Yes.
very funny.
Yes.
Just it's what's great. And you didn't have, Dan, you didn't have this opportunity for me to, gush over this before, but Mike and the people that he knows, Spencer, who I haven't met yet, but I feel like I've known forever, they're us, right? They're this people. And you feel like you know these people, even though you don't, because you've all had the same shared experiences.
Right.
We can't wait for August. And I'm not a person to wish time to go by quickly, especially now that I'm getting old and every day is a fucking painful day for me. Just to live and walk and breathe. But anyway, August is going to be fucking fantastic. And I can't wait.
That's awesome.
Now, when in August is this happening? Do you remember the dates?
It's later August. It's
Okay.
third, fourth week. It's a good long vacation. And we've already got all the reservations are done. The flights are purchased. The shirts are purchased.
Know what you're
The
thinking, Paul.
hotels, everything's purchased. You want me to do a live event?
No, I was just wondering if you were going to be at our live event
Horror
on
Fest.
the 16th and 17th at Vernon Downs for Sci-Fi Horror Fest.
Oh, and here I thought you were planning to rob his house.
No, he was wondering about sci-fi.
I can tell you. Just hold on a second. Just give me 1 sec. I'll just do
All
it
right.
real quick.
While you're checking that out, we're gonna let Corbs jump
Yeah.
in on his
Yep.
next one.
Which Corbs? There's three
Your
of us.
your Corbs. We went over this last time. Your Corbs. That's Jack, and that's DC.
I mean, I'll give the obvious. Last week was the Masters, so for me, that's my golf mecca, I guess you would call. Every year, I watch it. Watch it when I get home from work. It's the one golf tournament I watch all 4 days of. Even if I'm out someplace, I've got it on my phone. I'm checking scores and all that stuff. So, and as you guys know, actually everybody here knows, last year I actually got a chance to go to the Masters. Did not get a chance to go this year. Signed up for tickets to try to win tickets. Something that my grandparents did many, many years ago. My aunt did for my grandparents. Won them 2 passes to, one of the practice rounds. So we tried to do that again this year just to see if we could get tickets again this year. We'll do it again next year. It will become an annual event, trying to win tickets again to go back down. So that is what has me geeked. It was just last week was the Masters.
Nice.
And then obviously, as my brother pointed out yesterday, Wednesday, because this will probably post on a random
Someday.
day.
Yeah.
May 27th.
2054.
Exactly.
Yesterday was my 49th birthday. So
Woo!
I was it was an interesting day. Didn't do too much. So other than that, it was I had cornhole last night, which is the one thing I do in the wintertime.
In the corner.
Oh.
That
I thought you
cornhole.
meant,
No.
for your birthday.
I
It's
mean,
a new position called cornhole.
whatever you enjoy, Corbs. I'm just glad you got it.
That's the day to ask for it.
That's true. So, but yeah, last night was fun with cornhole. It's every Tuesday night we play. Kelly and I play, so it's good. It's a good time. So, but other than that, not too much else going on. Get ready for the golf season. Starts this. For me, it probably starts this weekend. I'll probably play on Sunday. So,
Nice.
weather permitting, of course.
All right. Kev, you got those dates?
We're actually flying out July 27th, and we're flying back August 3rd. So it's end of July, first part of August.
Oh, look at that. It's even earlier, so that's even better.
Yep.
It's less
Yep.
time to wish away. And that means you fly out after the annual birthday bash. So
The annual birthday, Paul Showman's birthday bash.
When is that? Is that on the 20th?
well, I didn't really want to throw that out for all 5 of our listeners, but yeah.
Paul, invite them.
I mean,
It will be
they
a
usually
good
are all
time.
invited anyway. So
Works out good because that's right on my brother's birthday too.
outstanding.
And that gives you
Perfect.
like 2 whole weeks to replace all of your belongings before you have to worry about going to the Sci-Fi Horror Fest.
And have them all stolen again.
I was just waiting for Kev to say his vacation is during Sci-Fi Horror Fest and we're live. And Paul's like, fantastic. That's great.
Huh.
And then he just stops and he's like, we got to talk real quick.
No, we always pivot. It always seems like we're at least one person short at all of our
Hey,
Hey, you know, I was there last year, even though I wasn't. So
You wouldn't miss me.
Pivot. Sorry.
Actually, Kev, I think
The
we
other
would miss
vendors
you.
might.
Yeah, let's say the vendors might, especially the girls at the table across from us.
Yeah.
Our friends at Twisted Whiskers. Yes.
That was fun. Now, come on.
We had a blast.
We had
Yes.
a great
I think we all had a good time.
Yes.
At that
I think someone's
event.
had a
Now,
little more of a good time than others.
well,
Yeah.
I mean,
We've really got to work something out this year if we're gonna top hanging out with fucking Leatherface all night drinking, right, Jack?
Yeah, he would not stop talking about food, basically.
He was
though.
a huge foodie. And then the best part, I'm sure I've told the story a million times. I go to stand up to go to the bar, and he just yells at me, literally yells at me. Where you going, motherfucker? I'm like,
Yeah.
bar. I'll be right back.
He went to go get a drink and his eyes were so big. He's like, where's your friend going? I'm like, blink, bro, blink. He'll be back.
All right, but moving on.
All
Running
right.
a tight ship.
All right, so what has me geeked this week? I've been getting back into my history a little bit. So one of my college buddies texted me the other day. He's like, so you see our old college professor is writing a book about your favorite topic? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So I took a Russian history course in college and I was really fascinated with it. And it's about, of course, the last Tsar and his family and all that. So that's what he's writing his book about. And I've done papers about this, many papers in college. And I contacted him. So I was like, so I hear you're writing a book. He's like, he remembered who I was, which was weird. I'm like, you teach many people. He's like, you wrote one of my best papers about the family. And I thought it was really, really good. So last couple nights, actually, I've been doing Zoom calls with him, actually for like 2-3 hours at a time. These last 2 sessions, it's exhausting, but it's really rewarding. So it sounds so boring probably to you guys, but it has me geeked because I love history. The Tsar, his wife, the Tsarina, the 5 children, the 4 daughters and the son, from birth to death. Like we're like talking about like who they were, because we're trying to describe it in his book, like more about the family aspect. Because yes, you could say the Tsar was the Tsar from blah, 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 and he was assassinated in 1918, blah, blah, blah. So now we're actually going more in depth with it because Tsar Nicholas II, believe it or not, like I said, this is pretty cool, had a dragon tattoo on his forearm, which is pretty
I don't
neat.
believe it.
I thought it was pretty cool. I know, but so I thought that was kind of neat. When they got executed, they actually were assassinated. 2 of the daughters were not killed right away because they had pearls in their dresses, so they were like used as what is it called? Like what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for here? When you have
a little more.
when you like bulletproof vest, it's like a bulletproof vest because they have pearls and all that stuff. So they would actually stab these 2 daughters with bayonets. And after they were killed, believe it or not, their bodies were killed. And one of them was still breathing a little bit, were dumped with sulfuric acid. So it's pretty fucked up how they killed this family. Like, I'm not going to go in depth with it because that will be here all night.
Just did.
No, I can
Pretty
go
in-depth.
more. I can go more in depth with it because one of the daughters was trying to bless herself before she died, but nope, she was killed right away. Alexei was not killed, the son, right away. He was stabbed with bayonets. They had to come back because they killed the Tsar first, and then they had to have the smoke clear, and then they continued killing the family when they're like crying and like in pain and bleeding out. So, but like I said, we're going from birth to death with all these family members, and it's going to be a very interesting book, and I get to be in the book, which is pretty awesome.
Did he have cats? And did he have to let them in and out of the fucking room constantly?
There was a dog, but the dog
I was kidding. It was
No,
a
I know you're
rhetorical.
not.
Never mind.
I know. No, but you already asked. So there is a dog, but the dog lived and he went off to live in Europe because the dog was not part of the assassination. So that was with me, Geek, because I'm very
Least
excited to be part of
believable
the
part
book.
of the story.
No.
Sounds like the beginning of a Disney movie from the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just glad that my wife's name isn't Hugh Rena. That must be fucked up. Czar and Czarina.
Those are titles.
Those were titles.
those are titles. They're
Oh.
titles. Yeah. So yeah, that has me Geek to be a part of a book and just discussing history again.
All right. DC, what you got, buddy?
What's got me geeked this week is my team, Washington Capitals, made the playoffs on the last day of the regular season yesterday. So I'm very excited. My son is very excited. But just to I guess, be able to watch all this stuff. Like I said, I got playoff basketball, playoff hockey starts next week, which that'll stay on my TV all week at night. And that's really about it. I mean, I can't really do too much else. Because of my physical condition right now. So I guess watching TV has got me geeked. And then I'm gonna check out this Alex Rider show on Prime. So that's the other thing that's got me geeked.
Nice. That I don't know if you caught the face, but that didn't have anything to do with what you said. I just completely wadded up our show notes, and that happened. Sorry.
Oh, the other thing that got me geeked was I think it was last weekend or the weekend before or whatever was the WrestleMania. Had me geeked.
It's gonna
Yeah,
roll right into
We'll talk
mine.
about that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that's what I wanted to go into. That's what had me geeked was WrestleMania and the fact that, invited all the guys over. And then one by one, they all canceled on me.
Look.
Except Kevin. Kevin and Kathy showed up. We had a good old time. Which is nice because I mean, we were planning on celebrating somebody's birthday, so we got to have birthday cake without the guy who fucking ditched us for his friend to have steaks in his birthday.
That
You told-
fucking
you
cake was
told-
amazing.
You told me to do what I want. You say it's your birthday. And they told me that morning. I could have told you an hour before, bro.
I mean, it was already too late because we'd already made plans. Because after you left on the last D&D recording, what did I say to all you guys?
I'm gonna do something for his birthday.
Thank you, DC.
I didn't know that.
Exactly. It's called a birthday surprise.
That's
Yeah.
So
a
you know what?
surprise.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
No, you
I
will
mean,
be.
in all fairness, you had said to us, I'm not going to be there for night one because we have a color guard thing. And who wants to come on a Sunday because they have to work the next day? And I'm like, okay, I guess Paul's not having a party. So I made other plans.
Well, no, I did say, like, if you read it, you're paraphrasing it because I did actually going back and see it. And I said I'm still having people on Sunday.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I might have missed that.
I
That's
felt
what we do.
bad.
No, it
Um,
happens.
I was gonna
really
come-
only wanted to throw that out there just to give Jack shit for fucking blowing this off after I actually put birthday effort in.
That's the
Was-
first
was
time
that-
ever. That's the first time ever, too.
Was that not
Second,
the
yeah,
best,
second.
the best WrestleMania ever?
Oh, it was beautiful.
I don't know if you guys saw my post on Facebook, but I immediately when it was over, I had to quote Michael Cole and say, "God damn, I love professional wrestling." Because it was phenomenal, fucking phenomenal.
Except for all that shit with Rey Mysterio and those other Latin guys whose names I can't ever remember.
Yeah, I mean there were a couple matches that didn't really hit, but they were few and far between. Like there was
Yes.
so much more that was awesome.
Yeah.
It was one of those times where if I was going to
excuse me.
explain to somebody who doesn't like wrestling or doesn't watch it that they tell stories in the ring. Wow. I mean, I've never seen a show that actually told that many stories in the ring in that way.
Case in point, it was so good. Kevin was not scrolling on his phone.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
Yes. That might have just been because the snacks were directly in front of him. But he was actually like involved and he was asking questions and cracking jokes and he was engaged. I was impressed. Not that
That's
I was
awesome.
too engaging with him because I was fucking zeroed in on what was going on the TV. But
It
Yeah,
was such a good time. I'm telling
Yes.
you guys, you missed it.
Well, I don't think you
yeah,
really
I
wanted
felt
me
bad.
at your house shitting all over the place.
no, that's also appreciated. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, I went to my son's game and then I was gonna have him bring me there and then have Sean bring me home. And then Sean was like,
dying. Yeah.
can't go. And I'm like, okay,
Dysentery. Yeah.
I felt
It
bad, but
happens.
I
No, it
checked
happens.
all the highlights and stuff like that. And yeah, I made sure I was glued on Monday night afterwards. Because yeah, I needed to make sure. The only match that I read that really kind of disappointed me was I really wanted Becky Lynch to win over Rhea Ripley just because Becky Lynch is hot. And but I got it, but now it's interesting with Rhea Ripley out now.
Yeah, that bummed me out because
Yeah.
as much as I like Becky Lynch, making Rhea dominant like that is really good for business.
it is.
Well,
Well, the thing
Becky's
that
awesome, but Rhea might be the biggest thing in wrestling since China.
well, yes, and but the other thing that I realized was on Monday night was even though she drops, she has to give up the belt because she's going to be out for several months. Liv Morgan is going to win the title. They're going to
Probably.
give it to Liv Morgan so when Rhea Ripley comes back, they can go at it. That's what I think. Because, well, I mean, they played it like Liv was the one who injured her
Right.
on Monday night when she hit her with the chair. So
There are
We'll see.
rumors going around right now that Liv Morgan's going to be a heel. Rumor is that she's going to steal Dominic Mysterio and have him call her mommy, and Rhea
Oh,
Ripley's
wow.
going to come back as a face, like a baby face or something like that. That's a
She
rumor.
doesn't need to. She's
doesn't need to.
already a face.
She's already
sorta.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
You could see that Monday night when they did the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
The
Like,
headbutt.
they booed the fact that Rhea had to drop the title, and then they were really fucking booing Liv Morgan. So that's already happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. And there's one other person that's coming back into the mix that I read, and I can't wait because she's also hot. Is Alexa Bliss is coming back. So I read that too.
Yeah.
You can do it, Paul.
No, sorry. There's other stuff happening on the side there. Yeah, but I don't want to jump too much into wrestling and make this an even later show than it's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead and say, guys, who's gaming? What are you playing these days?
I am gaming, and I have to show you something. I actually have a couple things to talk about, but the first one is I picked up this.
A white
Can
box.
you see it? Son
Nope,
of a
nobody can see it.
bitch. Okay. Let me just change my background
I can't see it.
to none. So
I still can't see it.
I
Just saying.
and you never will.
Probably.
This isn't
Oh,
going to
it's a
show
Game
up.
Boy.
Oh, Game Boy.
Oh,
It's-
Game Boy,
it's-
nice.
But it's not a Game Boy. I
sick.
discovered that there is a entire industry. I mean, I knew there was around retro gaming. When we were at the last con, I saw the retro gaming table there, and I regretted not sitting in there and checking some stuff out. I just recently cleaned out our back room and I'd found my Game Boy Advance, so I tried to fire it up because I knew I had a couple cartridges. I actually found everything, even though it was all over the room. But there's no backlight on that. I couldn't fucking see anything. And I'm like, that's really disappointing. So I started looking into it. I was thinking about buying a Game Boy, like an old one used. GameStop doesn't have any of that shit in stock anymore. It's on their website, but you can't actually buy the shit. So I started looking into it. And there are several companies that are making retro handhelds that play everything like all the way up to PS1, like the one I have. And they're not just, I mean, they may be cheap Chinese garbage, but these companies are actually iterating on these yearly and listening to feedback. They're allowing people to create custom OSs, and in some cases, then using those custom OSs because they're so great. And I had no idea this was a legitimate gaming space. The one I picked up was the Ambernic RGXS Plus. And It's the newest version came out like 3 months ago. It wasn't expensive. It was like $80. I'm loving this thing. I've got like every game in existence. Well, I don't want to say up to PS1 because PS1 and N64, the emulations touch and go. So they don't have all the games for those systems. But that doesn't even matter. You know, I tried putting an emulator on my phone. I tried doing it on my Steam Deck and all this stuff, and none of it felt right because it wasn't the right shape and size. I'm more than halfway through the original Final Fantasy from the Nintendo, which I never beat when I was younger. And I'm loving every minute of it. These are definitely, if you like retro gaming, it's worth it. If you do pick one up, let me know because there are some tricks to getting it set up. Outside of that, something else happened. I work with another guy by the name of Paul, who's from South Africa, and his shift he overlaps with mine in the morning, and we've gotten to know each other a little bit because we both like Star Trek and things like that. And for my birthday this past year, he randomly sent me gifts. Don't know why. Didn't think we had that kind of friendship. We were just friendly. So of course his birthday's coming up, and I'm like, fuck, now I have to get him something. I mean, I was like, I like the guy, but I didn't realize that we were those kinds of friends. I mean, Paul, you and I don't usually get each other birthday gifts. So
Nope.
I was taken aback. I guess that's a normal thing for socially adjusted people. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure it out because shipping to South Africa is a bitch. And they do have some websites where you can buy stuff, and I didn't know what to get. And then he happened to mention that he had a Meta Quest 2 virtual reality headset. So I'm like, bingo. And I found him on my the Quest app, and I sent him Pinball FX and some of the virtual pinball stuff I've talked about in the past because I know how awesome it is. He loves it, turns around the next day, gifts me his favorite game. I'm like, son of a bitch, now I owe him again. But I'm glad he did. It's something called Puzzling Places. And the concept behind this is this team goes around, I don't know if they go around the world or how they travel or whatever, but they 3D model real things in real life. And then they create jigsaw puzzles out of them. But I'm not talking about the flat kind with the little, the little PP that goes into the hole type puzzles. I'm talking about 3D models that break apart randomly in different places, depending on how many pieces you choose, from 25 to 1,000 pieces for an individual puzzle. And what's cool about this is you're in a 3D space, you're grabbing pieces, putting them together, moving stuff around. You're also not only putting together the outside of buildings, but sometimes you're also putting together the inside, and it all has to fit it's fucking cool, Kev. You want to talk about fucking cool, you would love this. And some of the stuff is simpler. It's like, something outside, maybe it's a car or a tower, or I did one of the Mars laboratories is one of the newer ones, which was really neat. But I'm having an absolute blast with this game, and there's like a $5 monthly subscription to have access to everything they've already put out, plus the new puzzles they release monthly, but they also drop stuff mid-month too. I haven't really figured out what the cadence is, but it's cool. It is one of those, if you recall, I said that pinball was one of those games that was, virtual reality was designed for, because it's one of those things that can be recreated perfectly in a virtual space. This is another one of those games. If more people understood what this was and had a chance to try it, this would be selling VR headsets, because it's not an experience you can have in the real world. I mean, with the newer headset, the Meta Quest 3 that has the color pass through, and you can like see all the real shit around you in the room, you can, with another player with a headset, be putting the puzzle together on a table.
Oh, wow.
You can set it in a place in the real world, and you both can be putting it together. Fucking amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is cool. But I am doing other gaming stuff, but that's what I've really got for this week.
Nice.
That's neat. That's
Very
really
cool.
neat.
Corbs, I saw your hand go up too.
Oh, yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Corbs.
I'm just
sorry,
every year for my birthday, the present my dad gets me is MLB The Show for the PlayStation. So this year they did not make a hard copy for the PS4, so I had to download it to play it, and I've been playing that. And then when I was on the PlayStation store, I saw that Madden 24 was on sale for like, I want to say it was like $13 or something like that. And I was like,
the games suck.
all right, fuck it. fuck it. So I downloaded both of those games, the MLB The Show and Madden 24. And I've been playing both of them, going back and forth between the two of them. So I always do like the show, MLB The Show. Every year I play a Road to the Show, make my son, and then pick a team and play as him and try to get to the major league. So I just got you start out double A. I just moved up to triple A. I think it was after like 20 or 25 games or something like that. I was hitting like 480. So I've been playing that. That's all I've been doing is playing that. Those two games, kind of flipping back and forth between the two, between that and Madden and the show. So
Nice. That is
And
what I
there's
like
a-
about digital downloaded games. Like you can jump back and forth between a couple games at a time.
Yeah.
You're not always swapping out discs and stuff. Like
yeah,
that's,
that was I do
game
like the fact that I
changer.
don't have to like stop it, hit the eject button, pull the disc out, put the disc, wait for the disc to load up. You
Mhm.
still have to wait for you still have to wait for the program to load up, but it's not having to physically push the button, pull it out, and put it back in. So that's the good part about the download. So
Sometimes you have to wait for the guy that loaned you the PS4 to give you his password so you can update games.
I know what a dick that guy is.
No, it's fine. You just have to wait. That's all.
And that's usually because that guy has to go in and figure out what the hell his password is because he never puts it in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's pretty funny.
All right. Who else? Cav, you hit with something?
So I'll tell you what I'm playing, and it'll also tell you what I'm watching.
Oh, okay.
And in all honesty,
Sorry.
in all
I'm
honesty,
doing the same thing, Kev.
what?
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm going to be honest, and you don't have to believe me. I decided to, and this is all because I put my new PC in place. I had bought a off-lease Dell and desktop, and I modified it, and I had it sitting on here on the floor. And the one I had wasn't dead yet, so it was just taking me forever to get them replaced. But got the new PC in place, got it up and running, got it all updated, and I'm like, wow, this thing's really fast. It's really nice. I wonder if it can play Fallout 4, which I haven't played yet because I have had the opportunity with the PS4, but I really like playing video games on the PC. I mean, I like the PS4. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good games for that Paul has graciously loaned me. But I really like playing games on the PC. I've got a PC that can play them now, so I'm like, whoa, what the hell? So I load up Fallout 4. Day or two in, I happened to see something from a friend of mine. He's like, binged Fallout last night. It dropped, and I watched the whole thing and stayed up till 6 a.m. I'm like, oh, okay. So we're watching Fallout also. But this game is, and I played Fallout 3, I played 2, I played New Vegas. Haven't had a chance to dabble in 76 or 4 before now. And it just reminds me of why everybody loves Fallout. I mean, if you've played Fallout, if you've enjoyed the game, if you've had an opportunity to just go around and wander through the wasteland, you totally get it. I mean, it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. Discovering new things. I got so frustrated a couple nights ago. I'm like, oh man, I met these guys that they were a lot tougher than I am, and I went through a lot of ammunition. I had almost no ammo left. And then the next night, I met a couple of knights from the Brotherhood of Steel, and now I've got these phenomenal weapons. I mean, I already had the armor, but now I've got these phenomenal weapons and all sorts of ammunition and all sorts of new resources to go on and play the game. And that's the way Fallout goes, and that's how it is. And it's a lot of fun. And I find myself with it, if I've got 30 minutes or an hour to play, I go in and I play that, and I'm not, or Palia, it's just sitting there, it's not getting any love, and I just don't have a lot of time for gaming. And Fallout's a lot of fun. I mean,
You're gonna find Fallout 4 looks and plays better than 3. The story's not quite as good, but its
Yeah.
biggest drawback is the not really crafting, but it goes along with the crafting and building the settlement system. They force you to do some of that as part of the story. And
Oh.
now some people love it. They create some great things. I hated the whole settlement thing. And once I was done with what I had to do, I never went back to it. I
Oh.
will also suggest to you right now, Kevin, Fallout 76 is now either $5.99 or $7.99
Yeah.
on Steam. I picked it up. I had played it years ago when it first came out and when it was dead and there were no NPCs and they just thought the community was going to create the game and everybody was like, fuck you. Well, they fixed it. And
Oh,
while
wow.
there are live service elements, there are NPCs and quests and things like that. I'm only, a few hours into the game now, up to level like 22, but it's worth it. Well, no, there's an option with a new game now to start at level 20.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they know they've had, it's been out for years now and they have a lot of new players coming in, which we're going to talk about later. But it actually it's different from regular Fallout. Like VATS still moves. VATS is more of a lock-on mechanism now than it is freeze time, but it still feels like Fallout, and you don't have to play with other people if you don't want to. It's for the price it is right now. It's worth checking out because it's new Fallout. Get it while it's cheap.
Yeah, I definitely will. And it, you know what? I haven't looked around through all of my libraries. I take advantage. I have Steam and I have
GOG.
I don't
Epic
have GOG.
Games.
I do have, I have Epic. I have GOG. I don't do much with it. I have Epic installed and I have Steam installed, and they always have these free games. And I've always glommed down to the free games all the time. So I just build a library. And I know that's how I got Fallout 4. And I'm pretty sure I have Fallout 76 in there somewhere for the same reason. I've just got so many games. I just haven't been through them all. I really wanted to try Fallout 4. So I jumped into it. I must have heard or saw something.
Amazon offered it free at one point.
Oh,
I
maybe that's what it was.
discovered I had it free after I bought it. So
yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm having some fun with it, and I'm watching the show with my wife, and we'll talk about the show later. But it's a good time. It's a really good time.
Nice. All right. Anybody else got any more gaming?
I got game. I'm playing. I did the same thing as Corbs. I downloaded Madden 24, but on Game Pass it's free. Because I started a franchise, of course. I'm the Raiders, and I don't like it. It's too easy for me, even playing on Superstar, or whatever it is, all Madden or whatever. But I'm playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition again, and I'm on the Mass Effect 3 part. And I didn't realize, because the last time I played it a long time ago, I just did the main story mission and stuff. But my list to do stuff of outside of the main story mission is like huge. So I'm doing all the other outside stuff, and then I'll continue the mission and anything like that. But I love it. I have a blast. I like it. I'm waiting for the next. I mean, I also have Mass Effect Andromeda downloaded, but I've played that I played it through to the end, doing all of the quests 3 times, changing from the male protagonist to the female one, their brother and sister, and stuff like that. But I'm waiting for the new Mass Effect to come out because I want to see where the story goes after the fact. I don't know if anybody's played Mass Effect or anything like that, but you have to make a choice as to whether, the main character passes away or not. And in both, you can do one of two endings, but I'm waiting to see where the next Mass Effect goes, because what I've been reading about I'm like chomping at the bit for this game to come. I haven't paid for games full price in probably 25 years or more. Because when it was Electronics Boutique and then GameStop, I would just take all of my old games, trade them in for what I wanted, and then get when it was Electronics Boutique, they also took computer games to trade in. And my dad always had a lot of computer games, and he would give them to me, and I would go trade them all in. One time, for the kids, they wanted like certain games, and obviously being brand new, they're like $60. So my dad gave me all these computer games. I turned them all in, plus the games that weren't being played anymore, and I got close to $300 in trade. And I just bought all the kids' games for Christmas.
Nice.
And then I bought it. I had to buy a game for myself. So, because, I'm a gamer too at 51, I was playing Mass Effect before I got on the podcast after I ate dinner, and just a shout out to, Byrne Dairy or whatever like that. Today's Wednesday, $1 cheeseburgers. Yes. I got 10.
First of all, he's not wrong, because when we played D&D, I didn't get anything to eat, so I stopped at the Byrne Dairy, right down by the mall, just a little north or east of the mall or whatever. I stopped and picked up a couple. Yeah, those things are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, they're not big.
Nope.
But they're 99 cents on Wednesday. So, like I said, I had to go to the doctor, and my sister took me. And so then she had to go to the pet store, and I waited in the car, and she goes, "You want to go to Byrne Dairy?" And I'm like, yeah, it's Wednesday. And
So Paul, next D&D night, put Byrne Dairy into the GPS before you put Luke's.
yeah,
You will not be disappointed.
Nope. Like
I'm
I
not
said,
gonna lie, that's where I'm going from now on Wednesday nights for D&D, on the way to D&D.
yeah,
I
because it's
picked up 2 cheeseburgers on the way there. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I left, I had to go get gas in the car. I stopped at Byrne Dairy by my house, and I picked up 5 more.
yeah.
Outstanding.
I walked.
Corbs.
Like I said, I walked in Byrne Dairy with my sister. I needed ice. I got a bag of ice. I got 2 half and half iced teas, and then I bought 10 cheeseburgers.
I have to
You
ask.
sick bastard.
Okay, I have to ask.
Yep.
Is there any correlation? You got Byrne Dairy cheeseburgers over here, and you got massive nights on the fucking shitter over here. Is there any correlation?
No,
No,
Really?
no,
I think you're lying.
no.
guys.
I ate 4 before I got on the podcast. I still got
And
6
you
left.
also said you're losing weight, so I know you're lying.
No. It's not because of that. It's because of my diabetes.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'm right there with you. I
Man,
completely understand.
It's just phenomenal.
Why
Well,
do I
I'll
I'll bring you one next Wednesday when we play D&D. I'll bring you one.
You won't have to. I'm going to stop on my way.
You're all Why do I feel like we'll weigh up Luke's? Like Luke, okay, whose turn is it? Like, hold on, I gotta have this Byrne Dairy cheeseburger real quick.
Oh no, they'll be gone before I get there.
Oh yeah,
They are gone before you get there. Trust me.
yeah. And the only
All right,
reason
we
I
have
didn't
to-
need them in the car. Some of them in the car is because I was in my sister's car.
I just feel
So
bad for
I didn't
Luke's
want to make a
bathroom.
mess. But I got home. That's the first thing I did. I got home. Because they were still, they were hot, and put them on a plate. Got my iced tea. Came in, sat down in my chair, my recliner. My sister goes, "Can I do anything else?" And she had just got done walking my dog for me. And I'm like, "Nope." She goes, "You got your food?" And I'm like, "Yep." And she left, and I just went to work.
This is clearly what you were geeked about, DC.
Pretty much. I guess that's right, Hugh. I guess that's right. Maybe I am geeked that today is a Wednesday from Byrne Dairy. I don't usually Fridays is my day. Like I cook all week long. And Sunday to Thursday, and then Saturday to Thursday, and then I don't cook on Friday nights because that was just a rule that we started as a family in when I got married with the kids. But now I'll cook on Friday nights because I spend my money on Wednesdays.
On cheeseburgers.
Hot cheeseburgers, baby. I got 6 more waiting for me after we're done.
All right.
I'll eat
Where are we
eat
going
4
next?
and then say 2.
We gotta get this thing moving. We're never gonna get out of here before 11 o'clock.
We have to get out of here.
We gotta get this moving.
All right. Well,
Jack?
if we're all done talking gaming and cheeseburgers,
That's
I
right.
think we're gonna move it right along.
wait, hold
to-
up.
Jack.
Hold up.
What?
I have a rant.
I don't have time for rants. No.
I just want to make. I know you do. Okay. So yeah, I played a game this week. You guys remember the classic game Clue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're playing Clue, my buddies and I, and you have Mr. Green, Miss Peacock, Miss Scarlet, Professor Plum, Colonel Mustard, and who the fuck is Dr. Orchid? Dr. Orchid is a new character over Mrs. White. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Dude,
So-
your white privilege is showing.
Yep.
No, it's stupid. No, it's fucking stupid. Like, orchid color is the closest, like purple. It's just stupid. No, you can't. Yeah, Dr. Orchid did. I don't give a fuck who Dr. Orchid is. Like, Dr. Orchid is the stupidest character name. Like, I look it up and they're like, oh, we had to make a change. It's like what Hugh says, but like, yeah, we had to make a change over 70 years. We had to make that change. What are they going to do next? Take out the weapon and make a loofah? Like, I don't know. I'm so fucking pissed off right now.
Jesus, imagine if they'd named the character Mr. Brown. I mean, he
Oh, you can't
even
do it. It's
worse.
a classic game. It just pisses me off right now. So what is it? They're gonna change Mr. Green's name to Dr. Jones, and then what is I don't know. Like, you're gonna call Colonel Mustard Colonel Grey Poupon? I don't know. It's fucking bullshit. It pisses me off. Like, what is it? Dr. Jones did it on the porch with the loofah. They're gonna change this game around. They're gonna take one of the best classic games of
No,
all
they're
time.
only going to take the word white out of it. That's all they ever do.
I don't like
Calm
it.
down.
No, I will not calm down. So I played Clue, and literally everyone's picking their characters, and someone's like, "I'll be Dr. Orchid." I'm like, "Who the fuck is Dr. Orchid?" Sorry, I'm done now. But that has
You
me
could just
ranting.
rename it. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
reason.
I'm
why you
in,
gotta leave
but
it
I'm in
like that.
agreement. You don't change
But-
classics.
But you don't change classics. Exactly. Professor Plum and Dr. Orchid's character, Purple and Orchid, they're the same color almost. So, okay, that's all I got.
Yeah. You don't change classics. Like they wanted to redo Jaws a few years ago, and I was like, oh my God, no.
It has me
Okay.
pissed off. My eyes are going crossed.
No.
All right, so tonight I've got a game for you that I got a chance to borrow from a friend of ours, a really good friend of ours. You guys will all meet him soon if you haven't already. His name is Luke, and he's our dungeon master. And he let me borrow this wonderful game called Azul. Now, let me really quickly flip over here to the Board Game Geek review on Azul, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a background about it. Let's see, it's a game based on being a tile layer. So picture yourself buying different colored tiles in the market to get your job finished, and you're up against other buyers. That is the premise of this game. Does it sound kind of boring? Yeah, it kind of does in the description. I got to tell you, the play is phenomenal. It is so much fun. And in the box, there are at least 5 different versions of the game. So on the board pieces you're going to see, and I think you already saw one before I flipped over to Board Game Geek, there's actually play pieces on both sides of the player's card, and then there are multiple players' cards in the boxes, so you can play the game multiple ways. So this is, let's see, it's 2 to 4 players. Community says 2 to 4. Best is 2, and I got to tell you, a 2-player game, this is fantastic. We played it with as many as 4 players, and it was a lot of fun also. 30 to 45 minutes playtime, right on the money. Ages 8 and plus, 8 plus, yep, that's right on the money. Weight 1.76 out of 5. I'm going to give it a weight a little bit lower than that. I think the game is very, very easy to learn. You're very quick to get into it and play it, and I think you will have a lot of fun with this your very first time through, and your 10th time through. It's going to be just as much fun. Introduced by the Moors, Azulos, originally white and blue ceramic tiles, were fully embraced by the Portuguese when their king Manuel I, on a visit to, Alhambra Palace in southern Spain, was mesmerized by the stunning beauty of the Moorish decorative tiles. The king, awestruck by the interior beauty of the Alhambra, immediately ordered that his own palace in Portugal be decorated with similar wall tiles. As the tile-laying artist, you have been challenged to embellish the walls of the royal palace of Evora. So that's the background. That's the story. And this is the game pieces. This is your player board. And you have these stores that you have here where all the different tiles are. So you'll have a bag full of, I think it's over 100 tiles, where you pick them randomly, four tiles per store, okay, and lay them out in this fashion. And then each player takes turns taking as many tiles as they want from the store. So if it were my turn, I might want to take these three light blue tiles here, and then I would discard the one tile into the center. Play continues, and till we all have all of our tiles, and let's see, I may have two here, and I may have another one down here, and that's discarded, and I may have another one up here with those discarded. I'll tell you a little bit about these here in the center in a second. Before you can score your board, all of the tiles have to be used. And the way this works is that if I want to take a particular color of tile, but I only have, let's say I have 2 spaces available, but I have to take 3 of the tiles because I take it from the center and there's 3 of that color in there. I have to put the 2 down, and then I place the others here. These will work against me. This lower panel works against me. If I decide to take the colors out of the center, I have to take my little play piece here. Once I take my tiles out of the center, these get discarded, and then play continues again until all of the tiles are gone for that hand. Let's just say all these are gone. And then you score. And the way you score is you move the tiles from the far right side of your palette. So I'll move these onto my wall, just one of each. Oh, I can't move these because these aren't finished, and these get discarded. So those are all finished, so those got moved over, and these will get scored. The first one gets scored as 1. So when I move that over, I got 1 point. The next one gets scored as 1, 2, and the next one gets scored as 1. Now, had I taken this piece out of the center, because I took some tiles out of the center, that's a -1. This would be a -1, -1, -2, 2. I think that's a 2, 3, and 3. So if you have tiles down here, you have to actually back your pieces up a number based on anything you have in excess. Play continues until someone gets a horizontal completed row, okay? And once that happens, then you score based on, and I got to get my score sheet. You score based on the following. Oh, I need my glasses. Sorry. You will score points. You will gain 2 points for each completed horizontal row of tiles, which is 5 consecutive tiles. You'll gain 7 points for each vertical line. So if you've completed a vertical line before someone has completed a horizontal, then you get 7 points for that. It's 5 consecutive tiles. You'll gain 10 points for each color of which you have all 5. So if I had all 5 blues, I would get 10 points for that. And the player with the most points on their track wins the game. Now, the way it's done, the way the game is done is, again, if you get that horizontal line, that finishes the game, and then you total up your score. You score each hand. If you have completed tiles, you score each hand, moving your game piece. But when that final row is done, you do your final scoring. It sounds very simplistic. It sounds like a very simple game. It is a very simple game. To learn it, to play it, to get so that you can enjoy the game, the very first play piece is exactly where you want to start. You'll get to like it, you'll get to love it, and you can just grow from there. Not only can you grow from there with the individual Azul game, but they have a whole family of games. I'm going to switch back to Board Game Geek and watch this. When I type in Azul, Are you seeing this? Are you seeing the list? These are all different versions of Azul. Master Chocolatier, Crystal Mosaic, Queen's Garden, Summer Pavilion. These are all different kinds of games of Azul. So if you like this game, and believe me, the pieces, they're beautiful. It's very well made. The rules are very well built, and they have the additional rule set. Oh, I didn't show the additional rule set. Sorry, I'm gonna have to switch back. So the rules come, the basic rules and an additional, an addendum for additional games. There is a lot of fun packed into this one box. And you can just play and play and play again and again and again. It's different every time, or it's the same every time, whatever you like. As you add more players, you'll end up with more stores. So you can have as many as, let's see, there's 9 stores altogether. So if you have enough players, that's the number of stores you can have. It's just a phenomenal game. You have to try it. You have to play it. Hopefully, we'll have a board game night where we'll all get a chance to play at some point. And I know I'm switching back and forth a lot, but I want to go over this real quick. Let's see. We did the stats. Let's look at the pricing. Pricing anywhere from looks like $30 or so up to about $40, depending upon where you find the game. If you get a chance to borrow it from someone, do that. Have a great time with it. So this is Azul, again by, who was it by? Next Move Games is who it's by. That's my game review for the week.
Thanks, Kev. It looks like there's a white tile, so Jack will probably like that game.
Well,
Not
they
really.
have they have little little star flakes, so it's a little flaky. So yeah, you're probably right on.
I hesitated because I was waiting to see if he was going to go off again. All right.
Sorry, I'm done.
Now it's a good time to kick it to break. We'll come back with the news. Stick with us, guys.
Hi, this is Craig Palmer. If you ever aspire to be a wrestler, come on down to Upstate Wrestling Entertainment, located at 1121 Glenwood Avenue in Nottingham, New York. We're open every Tuesday and Thursday from 6:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. Come on down and join us. See you then.
Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore. Located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking, Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Now, before you fall asleep more than once at your own hush money trial, I know meetings are hard. I can go from wide awake and working to having to shut my camera off before I yawn because I don't want to offend the CEO. It isn't their fault. Meetings are sleep inducing. It's in the Bible and shit. Do you have any idea how many Israelites fell asleep while Moses was reading the 10 Commandments? Enough to piss him off and make him break that shit. Also, none of that might be true. So here's the news. First up, nobody's dick's that long, not even Long Dick Johnson, and he had a fucking long dick, thus the name. If you know, you know. The Fallout TV series premiered on Amazon to great critical and audience acclaim. I'm sure we'll touch on that later, or a prior, as it were, but this also led to a resurgence in the video games it is based on. Reports are coming in that sales and concurrent players on several of the titles have quadrupled in the past week. Quadrupled. The most recent main edition, Fallout 4, and the live service Fallout 76 getting the biggest boosts. Bethesda Softworks smartly held a sale on the entire franchise and are now laughing at all the companies that release yearly entries in their popular franchises. Fallout 4 released in 2015, and the next game is tentatively scheduled for 2035 or 36. For fucking real, 20 years between installments. At least you can't accuse them of a cash grab, but if there was ever a time to release a new game, it's when your own TV show comes out. If they meet that 2035 date, it will officially be longer between Fallout installments than Doctor Who was off the air, longer than the entire run of Supernatural, but not as long as it will take Paul to finish Supernatural. I blame it all on Starfield. Next up, after a brief adjustment period and a bunch of alcohol, it's a face I'd be happy to sit on. Did you see the Dune 2 promotional popcorn buckets? The ones that kind of look like toothy fleshlights and were likely treated that way? Well, this has begun a trend that I can only imagine being headlined with John Oliver saying, "That popcorn bucket fucks." Kevin Feige has announced that Deadpool and Wolverine will have an intentionally crude and lewd popcorn bucket as well. While the real deal has not been revealed, plenty of mock-ups have spurted across the internet in the past week, ranging from face-fucking Hugh Jackman's decapitated head is fun to, well, yeah, that's really the gist of it. Of all the lines I never thought I'd have to say, these lines are the most never evolved. Although I expect next year's new Oscar category of horniest popcorn bucket to be divisive. Are we really maximizing our potential as human beings here, folks? And finally, news you can't trust. We talk a lot about news integrity here, and I ran across a news story this week about Marvel laying some people off. Most outlets had the headline reading something like, "Marvel lays off 15 people." Any company laying off 15 people should not really be a news headline, but whatever. Then I thought, I wonder what Cosmic Book News said about this. Never one to fail expectations. Their headline was, "Layoffs at Marvel follow MCU reduction. Only one movie getting released this year with Deadpool and Wolverine, which follows the MCU's downward spiral since Endgame." This included several pictures, all of which were from She-Hulk. They did eventually mention it was only 15 people, but nothing but pictures of She-Hulk. We get it. You like guys and only want guys in your comic book movies as leads. It's 2024 and we accept your kind of lifestyle now. Stop hiding behind dishonest headlines and sexism. So in a nutshell, Marvel fired 15 people and Matt McGloin is afraid of women. And that's the news, kids. And now an observation. We hear about shrinkflation all the time. Companies find ways to sell us the same product for a higher price. They don't give us more for that higher price, they just give us less. One of the craftiest ways of doing this is with bottles of liquid. Have you noticed that most things with a flat bottom, like a Poland Spring jug or a Gatorade bottle, now have an indentation in the bottom? This reduces the amount of liquid in the bottle while maintaining the recognizable size. You can't see the indentation while it's full. I recently bought a bottle of said liquid and noticed the indentation has grown to the point where I can stick my fingers up in that shit. We are like a recession warning away from getting a free fleshlight with every 27.13 ounce bottle. I never thought I'd be able to insert the word fleshlight into a single news segment twice. Oh, 3 times now. But how weird is it that a burgeoning effect of the struggling economy is fuckable sports drinks? There's got to be a Super Bowl commercial in there somewhere. Paul?
Another news. 20% of all publications sold in Japan are comic books. Back to you, Corbs.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. A lot of gangster comic books too that they sell over there. Saw that on something I was watching when I was home with pneumonia. All right, sports. That's it. So
Moving on to trivia. No.
Masters was last weekend. Scotty Scheffler won his second green jacket in 3 years. Congratulations to him. Really kind of never really had anybody challenge him, I guess you would say. Watched that on Sunday. He pretty much ran away from everybody. Everybody kind of fucked themselves. Couple
With
of them
sports
boogied.
drinks.
Yeah, with sports drinks. So I mean, it was great. My guy was actually in it. Didn't think he was going to make the weekend. Kind of backed into the weekend himself and made the cut. Finished +5. So, but he was there. So that was good for Ricky Fowler. Hockey playoffs coming up. I know, like I've said before, our family's become a big hockey family. Danny's team, the Capitals, backed their way in, I guess you would say. Last team in. Canucks made it, which is nice. I'm hoping maybe we get a Stanley Cup this year for the Canucks, but I just don't think so. I don't think this is their year. So that's going on. You got the NBA playoffs, playing games. Lakers lost yesterday.
No, they didn't.
They didn't?
No, they won 110-106. They're playing the
Okay.
Nuggets on Saturday.
On Saturday. Okay. Was the Golden State was the team that lost. That was it.
Yes.
Yeah, they played horrible. So, so it's the playing tournament now to get to the regular playoffs, which starts, Dan, it's next Tuesday.
The NBA playoffs?
Yeah.
No, NBA playoffs start on Saturday.
The regular playoffs start this coming Saturday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the play-in tournament yesterday was Lakers beating New Orleans, Sacramento beating Golden State. Tonight was Philadelphia staging a humongous comeback and beating the Heat, and right now Hawks and Bulls are on.
Okay.
That's the play-in tournament, and then Friday is the loser of the 7-8 game playing the winner of the 9-10 game.
Yeah.
And then playoffs start on Saturday. Hockey playoffs start on the 20th.
Yeah, which is also Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of really what's going on sports-wise. Not much going on in football. Nobody's really signing right now. So, I mean, other than that, it's just wrestling. Just WrestleMania. Sorry, we missed it again this year. We didn't make it last year either.
Oh, you were there.
No, was it last year that we came over, or was it 2 years ago that we all came over?
Had to be last year.
Was it last year? Okay, it was okay.
a tradition that started after Dad passed, and that was
Yeah.
at the end of 22.
Okay,
Paul was in his kilt and he kept getting stuck in the couch. Remember?
that's true. I remember. I kept seeing up his killed.
And Jack got a birthday present.
Whoop de do.
So,
Well, that won't happen again.
Right?
Apparently,
I sent that shit back. I was gonna give it to Kev first, but he didn't want it. So
what was for Jack? Why would Kev want it?
true.
true.
So,
I don't
That's
know
all-
if I actually want it now, but no.
that's all I
That's a
got.
good thing because it's gone.
That's all I got sports-wise, unless you want to talk WrestleMania.
I think we hit on it pretty good earlier, unless there's anything you wanted to touch on that I missed. But I think we covered basically the big stuff.
Mhm.
So
Well, there's a lot of big stuff we didn't, but that's for another time.
yes, for another podcast. All right, then let's keep it fucking moving right along so Hugh doesn't die on a toilet. Jack, hit it with your trivia time.
All right. So, all right, here we go. So, Kev, 1 through 5, pick a number.
3.
3. What what vegetable was originally purple? This is actually fitting. You said to eat your veggies, so you get the vegetable
Yeah.
question.
I want to say it was a carrot, and you always tell me to go with my first inkling, so I'm just going to say carrot. I don't know if that's true or not.
It's about damn time. Good job. Carrot.
So it was purple, huh?
Yeah.
Why do I think it was purple? I must have seen one.
They're heirloom carrots that are purple. You can still
Mhm.
buy in the grocery
Oh,
stores.
there are. So it's a
Yes.
real thing still.
Yep. Parsnips
Neat.
are
Okay.
parsnips are white too, so yeah, you
Alright.
can.
Parsnips are, well, they're a root, right? So carrots
They're
are a root.
gross is
Parsnips
what
are a
they
root.
are.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Dan,
2.
Son of a bitch.
What did ancient Romans use as mouthwash?
Ew.
Oh, I know what this is.
Oh God. I do
Yep.
too. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember.
Oh, it's
I
on
hope
the tip
not.
of your tongue, all right.
It's that bad.
Son of a bitch.
I think I know what this is.
Just say
It's
it.
right there.
Don't
I think
overthink
it's-
it.
You're gonna be
I think
so
it's like
pissed.
I want to say it was like something like cow semen or something like that.
Wow.
Wow. All right, you took it south. Everybody, what is it?
Urine.
Yes.
Urine.
It's urine.
Oh right, that's
urine.
right. Son of a bitch.
Oh,
Oh God.
But who the
What?
fuck thought of that? Why
Romans,
would you ever
apparently.
try that?
No, it whitens your teeth. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, Kevin, so basically at one point there were two Romans hanging out, and one goes, Maximus, come on over here and gargle my piss. And then afterwards, he's like,
What?
wow, your teeth are much whiter.
What
mean,
were they
that's-
drinking or smoking to think that?
Can you imagine gargling someone's piss? Who's like, yo, did you have spinach or something? I don't know.
Did you eat pineapples?
All right, Corbs.
5.
What mammal can fly?
Mammal can
Oh, I know this. I know this.
Kev, you're doing good tonight then.
It's not.
Okay, the first thing that came to your mind, Corbs.
Well, I
Don't
know we
overthink
can't
this.
fly-
Yeah, don't think this one over either. It's not bad.
It's not what I was gonna say penguin, but it's not a penguin because they don't fly.
Eat the
I know.
penguin.
Can I say
Yeah, I don't know.
Go ahead, Kev.
the bat?
Yeah, it's a bat.
Very good.
No shit.
Okay. Paul, 1 or 4?
4.
4.
4.
What is the most common letter used in the alphabet in the English language? So out of the 26 letters, what is the most common letter used in the English language?
Wow.
1 in 26 chances.
The most common. I'm going to say T.
No,
Probably
It's a
A.
vowel.
S.
no, no,
No.
no.
It's
E.
not a vowel. Yeah, it's a
E.
vowel. I knew it was
E.
a vowel. I was
Okay.
going to say A.
Yeah.
I was going to say A too,
A.
but it's E. All right,
It's
one for you, Hugh. Our buddy Alfred Hitchcock. What is his fear? What did he fear most?
Jesus, I don't know. Heights?
No,
Flying.
no. This one's
Birds?
stupid, but no.
Birds.
No, it's not that.
It was
Girls
it
in
was-
showers.
No,
No.
It was
It's a random oddball thing.
like
It
a
is.
breeze, like a breeze or a wind or
looking
something
out-
like that. Wasn't
Looking
it?
out the
No.
looking out the front window and not the rear window.
No. Believe it or not, his biggest fear was eggs.
Eggs?
Eggs.
All right.
Eggs.
Yeah. Wrapping it up, in 1775, Paul Revere took his famous ride and say, the British are coming, the British are coming. So he said that in 1775. In 1951 for you, Corbs, and Corbs, and Corbs and Corbs, American baseball player Mickey Mantle made his MLB debut with the New York Yankees.
Wow.
And in 2011, an author named by George R.R. Martin had his book premiere, Game of Thrones, on HBO.
Well, the TV show based off of.
Yep,
I'm assuming.
TV show. And then, and then a couple people have birthdays today. Sean Bean is 65. Jennifer Garner is 52. And rapper Redman is 54 years old. Back to you,
Wow.
Paul.
How
Wait,
fucking
wait.
dare you? You missed the most important birthday today.
Who do you got?
Roddy Piper.
What?
You,
Yes.
how old
Really?
would he have been today, Paul? Tell us. I don't know.
I don't know the year. I just know it was his birthday today because his
Okay.
daughter was posting about it.
That's awesome.
Um,
Okay.
Can,
Happy
I
birthday,
even had it in the
Evans.
notes to give you shit about that if you missed that.
can I ask the group a question?
Yeah.
based on what Jack just did with his trivia, was it 1 lantern or 2?
What?
He's talking about Paul Revere.
Shit.
Oh.
Revere.
Oh,
Paul Revere.
Oh, it was one if by land, two if
Two
by
if by
sea.
sea, so it was 1.
Anybody
Right.
else? Anybody else?
Uno.
Do you know the answer, Kev? Is that you're asking because you know the answer, or you just wondering? You just getting a consensus?
Now, Jack, you say 1. I thought it was 2 because they came by sea.
Yeah, they did. They did. But yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was 1. But I don't know. I really don't know that.
So here's how I remember. It was the way that they the main character is the way his father got them out of getting killed in the sequel to what the fuck was the show where they chased after the historical objects there.
National Treasure.
National Treasure, the second one. The second
Yep.
one. That's how they got away because they convinced the guy that he hung 1 lantern, but it wasn't. It was 2.
Interesting.
That's how I remember.
Yeah. No. Cool.
That is cool, actually.
So Roddy Piper, if he was still alive, would have been 70 years old.
There you go.
When he
Rest in
died.
peace.
How old was he?
He
He
died at
in
61.
2016.
2015, July 31st, 2015. That's when he passed away.
That was 2016, maybe. Yeah, because he didn't make it to 60. He said he wasn't going to make it to 60.
I mean, he was
Really?
61. He was
Yeah,
61 when he
barely made it.
passed.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
61 when
You're
he
right.
passed.
All right. Well, I think it's a good time to throw it back to commercial, and we'll wrap this fucker up. Stick with us, guys. Oh, after I give you guys your weekly topic. Jesus Christ, I'm terrible with this. All right.
It's like it's your first time.
Jesus, first time this month. All right. So you guys have to erase one genre of movie from existence. What's it gonna be?
Oh, that's easy for me.
And these fellas will answer that when we come back from the break. Stick with us, guys. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore. Located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking, Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics. All right, and that music means it's time for the weekly topic. Let me reiterate. You have to erase one genre of movie completely from existence. What's it going to be? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first and piss everybody off. It would be sports movies.
I'm okay with it.
What's your reasoning?
But there've been some really great ones.
It was tough because my first instinct is romance, but romance can be flitted into other genres in a way that isn't sappy and stupid. So I don't like romance movies, but I mean, Titanic is kind of a historical romance almost. That was a decent movie. It was worthy. But I'm not saying sports movies don't have any value. I just don't like them because I don't like sports. It'd be like me watching a genre of TV about, it'd be like me sitting down and forcing myself to watch 90 Day Fiance. I don't like that shit. Why would I watch it? If you're going to ask me what TV universe to get rid of, I'm going to say that because I don't watch it. It doesn't affect me.
I couldn't say sports because of, Rudy, because of Field of Dreams. Once you've watched a movie that touches you the way those movies do, all of a sudden it's like it doesn't even matter that I don't understand the content, and it doesn't even matter. They're just so amazing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of mine right now. So somebody else go.
DC, what do you got?
Mine's a tie between romance and horror flicks. I've seen some really good horror flicks, not that I wanted to, like the Nightmare on Elm Streets. Like, we were a lot younger, Corbs and I, watched Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, over at a friend's house. So we got done watching, freaked us all out. So we go out that night and we're playing Manhunt. And 3 of us are hiding, and jogging down the street is someone in a red and green sweater and a fedora. Not joking. Corbs, you remember this?
I do.
We're looking at them, not playing the game, and we start running towards our friend's house. It was our friend's mom.
Outstanding.
Who knew we watched the movie, had seen it, and decided to fuck with us.
That's awesome.
She did a phenomenal job. When I went
That's
home
awesome.
that night, we had a radio in our room and we would listen to the radio. And at the time, Freddy 2 was coming out, Freddy's Revenge, and the commercial came on the radio. I didn't sleep all night.
I thought of one. You ready?
Sure.
Nonfiction.
So like
Ooh.
documentaries.
Yep.
Okay.
Burn
reason-
them all.
Do you have a
Okay.
reason why?
Why?
Because they're boring as fuck.
Okay.
Something in the next segment I'm going to disagree with you on that, but that's for them. All
All right, I guess I'll go and probably piss some people off here too, and I'll go fantasy because I just could never get into like that genre. Like, there's a couple movies here and there that are good fantasy movies, but I'm probably
Jack, you
no,
do
hold on.
realize that Star Wars is sci-fi fantasy.
That's
mean,
more.
it
I
has,
know. It's a space opera. It's sci-fi more, which I like. But like I said, I'm gonna piss people off. I can't get into those Hobbit movies. I watched half of Lord of the Rings. Never
Oh
could
my
get into
God.
those.
Oh
No.
my god.
So
My
dad showed
kill
me-
him.
yeah, exactly. So I know I'm pissing people off here. So I will definitely take a documentary, nonfiction over fantasy.
Dude, do you realize on Wednesdays once a month that we play a fantasy game?
We do.
That's
Jack just comes along and plays a
That
dunk.
that is thrown around game or movies like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Excalibur 1981.
Oh, great movie.
You know, like yeah,
I
I'm
know.
gonna have to.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
I know.
Yeah.
You can
Well-
kill me. Just give me a cheeseburger and some ale, and I'm good to go.
Yep.
Wow.
I go for me. It's musicals.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those.
So, just in general, I can't stand, singing.
Sound of
I
music.
like singing, don't get me wrong, but it's just the whole singing, dancing aspect of the movie. It's just, I don't get it, don't understand it.
Casablanca.
That's a good movie.
Casablanca's a good movie.
Casablanca's
never
a
seen it.
musical?
It's not a musical.
Not
Oh,
not
I've
officially.
never seen it.
No,
Not
it's
officially.
like, I'm talking more like,
You're talking more about like the Sound of
And-
Music.
yes,
Annie.
and in the King,
Yes, I
stuff
know.
like that. I'm
Man,
not
you
talking,
know what?
Les Mis you don't like either. I'd say.
I'm not like one to whatever, but The Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman is a musical, and it was fucking awesome.
It
Yeah,
was.
P.T.
I haven't seen
P.T.
it,
Barnum
so-
story.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like musicals either, but romance and horror just are way up.
I think we
above.
can all find objections
Exceptions
to,
to every rule.
yeah, exceptions to every one
Yeah.
of these.
Oh yeah. Good question, by the way.
Oh, what do you got?
Thanks.
What do you got, Paul?
See, initially I wanted to go with westerns, but then I remembered how much I liked Young Guns too, and I've been told that Tombstone was really good. Haven't seen that.
Tombstone is good.
So
Oh my
I gotta
God.
go with spy films.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
What
you've
is
never
it?
seen James Bond movies.
He's
That's
never
right.
seen James
Yeah,
Bond
because
movies.
fuck them. That's
So-
why. That's
Yeah.
they're
Got it.
already not in my wheelhouse, so I mean they can go.
Well,
I like.
Paul,
I'm
you
glad you
actually,
didn't choose. I'm glad you didn't choose westerns. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch Outlaw Josie Wales with Clint
Oh.
Eastwood, Pale
Classic.
Rider,
Yeah.
Unforgiven. Like those are great films.
Unforgiven. I love that Metallica song.
John
Well,
Wayne.
you actually have to watch a spy film in order to say that you hate them. You won't watch them. So
Wait a minute. Haven't you seen Austin Powers?
That's more comedy.
That's a
bro.
parody.
That's more comedy.
It's
Yeah.
not
So-
good, Ned.
But yes, I guess that counts. That checks the box. There's my exception.
No, it doesn't. It does
The best-
not.
The best part about this question is that there's exceptions for every one of these.
Every one of them.
You're like,
yes.
I don't want to watch whatever, but I would love to watch this movie again. So yeah,
right,
think
because
that's
I
cool.
can
That's
already
a-
think of my exception for my own, because I
Yeah.
guess the Bourne movies are considered spy films, right?
Yep.
yeah.
Love those fucking movies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, except for the last two. But, you know,
Mission Impossible. Did you see those?
no.
No. Okay.
No.
Those are
Well,
good movies too.
those
no,
are.
but I bet you
Fuck Tom
grooved to
Cruise.
that Limp Bizkit theme song back in the 90s.
Mm.
I mean, you assume that it didn't just hit my Alexa earlier this
I
week.
think well, it certainly hit your attire.
I got to go back to the red ball cap. That's it. All right, that actually did have some traction. I love it. But let's bring this fucker home. Boys, what have we been watching?
Fallout,
What is
Oh,
Fallout on?
Amazon,
Amazon.
Prime. Yep.
Is it on Prime? Okay.
Prime.
fucking amazing. And just like this show, the best line from the series, which also correlates perfectly to the game, thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit every time.
Yep.
When he said that, I'm like, that's just like playing the game, and it's just like recording this podcast.
Actually, live right into the podcast. My dad just texted me. Just finished part of the Fallout show. He's saying this verbatim. Can I borrow your computer and play those Fallout games?
That's awesome.
Hey, tell him I can loan him a PS4 that I'm getting back soon.
Hey,
You-
he
you
really,
know-
he wants to game again. He's like, yo, I want to play this game. It looks pretty fun.
Have him start with 3, 4, or New Vegas. Don't have him start with the first or second one. It'll go badly.
Okay.
I know I have 4, because when Kevin and I were discussing this before, when he talked about getting Fallout 4, I was like, pretty sure we have that on the PS4 already. And he's just like,
3 has Liam Neeson in it, if that has some selling power to you for you.
That is true.
it didn't help the Phantom Menace.
Shit.
Qui-Gon Jinn, you asshole.
Yeah, but I think that Fallout might be the very best video game adaptation of all time.
I can't wait to watch it.
I probably, if I was writing the show, would have gone in a completely different direction, in a different storyline, but I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It captured everything about the show perfectly. It left some stuff, some iconic stuff for the future, while still touching on some iconic stuff now. I was surprised, we didn't see a Deathclaw in the first season, but they've said they're purposely holding that back for season 2.
Hey,
But I
hey,
mean-
hey! Some of us haven't finished season 1 yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just have one
Some of us have
question.
some of us have never played the game.
There's
It's true.
that. I haven't
We can
done
fix
that.
that.
I have one question. Is Jay Muse in the show?
I didn't see him.
Okay. He voiced a character in one of the games. That's why. Mort? Does that?
I think
Is
it was
that
a
a character?
ghoul. Yeah.
Yep. That was Jay
D-
Muse.
DC, if you like Mass Effect, I think you'll like Fallout. It's
Okay.
in
I
the
think I
same
can
vein.
get it on. I think I can get it on Game Pass, so I might check it out when I finish.
Yeah.
Mass
Start-
Effect 3.
Start with 3.
Start with 3. I don't know
Start
if they have 3. I think they just have 4. Maybe New
Well,
Vegas.
When I
So,
had Game Pass, I'm pretty sure they had all 3.
Okay.
No,
I'll take a
actually,
look.
I know they do because Microsoft bought Bethesda, so all Bethesda's games are on Game Pass. Everything that even new release, if they release a game tomorrow, it's on Game Pass day one.
Hmm.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, that helps me out too when they when they put out the new Elder Scrolls. So that way
If
I can
any
do
of
that.
us are still alive, then
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez, I've been waiting years. You know, I mean, I love Skyrim. I play Skyrim, but I need a new one, and I don't want to go online and play. So,
Kev, your thoughts on the show?
So we've only gotten through episode 3. It's really good. I Kathy asked lots of questions, so I tell her what I know about the different storylines. Like there's different reasons why dwellers ended up in different types of vaults. What I really liked about this storyline was that when they showed the girl leaving the vault, they showed the elevator down to the multiple levels. And that's a call out to Fallout Shelter from the handheld game, from the phone game. So they're tying together, by what I can see so far, they're tying together every game in the franchise.
Yep.
And that I really like. Without really connecting it to any one of them in specific, because there's different reasons why the dweller would leave the vault. 4 has a completely different reason from 3. Vegas has a completely different reason from the other 2. But regardless, you end up in the wasteland and you have to find your way.
I'm betting
will
all
s-
of. Oh,
Go ahead.
Gonna say Kathy's questions, and specifically going back to that one, they reveal all of that by the last episode. Like if
Oh,
you go
cool.
into this knowing nothing about Fallout, you understand everything you need to know by the end. They just didn't put it all in the front. It's like a
That's all.
mystery to the
That's great.
characters themselves. Yeah, masterfully done.
That's great.
how
That's
many
great.
episodes are there?
8.
8.
8. Okay.
So at the end of episode 3, I will be completely honest with you. I'm a little bit disenfranchised with the girl. And
Just
Hugh,
remember, this is her first playthrough. Cut her some slack.
I know. And I keep trying to remember that. I keep trying to remember it's a different storyline. It's a different character. I just got to kind of go with it and just allow it to just play out. But everything else around it is fantastic. I love it. I love Maximus. I forget the sheriff's name. Yeah, it's all fantastic. It really is, and the way it shows the game. It just I love it.
Sweet.
Yeah, we watched
check it out.
episode 1 on Friday and then the rest of them on Saturday, all back to back.
Nice.
How long's an episode? Like an hour?
Yeah,
45
I mean,
minutes or
I think
so.
there's a little
first one is
longer
long.
than normal. Yeah,
The first one's long.
and I think there was at least 1 or 2 that were over an hour, but
Okay.
longer than average, but not much longer than average.
It says from
Okay.
anywhere from 45 minutes to 75 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All
Sounds
right.
good to me.
I guess I haven't watched Fallout, but I did watch one thing this past week. So I'm not big into binging, but I watched the HBO Max documentary Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids at TV. Did you guys
Ooh,
see that one?
I haven't seen it yet.
I've read
But
all
I've
about it.
heard-
Oh my God. Keeping it abrupt, Dan Schneider, executive
Oh.
producer. I would call him the Harvey Weinstein of children's acting a little bit. Oh my God, this is pretty fucked up shit. I'm not like Pickle Boy, like about all this shit. Drake Bell talking about all his stuff because I don't want to go so dark on this show. I'm gonna try to keep it light, but this was pretty fucked up shit. Literally,
So-
I'm watching it and you're cringing. You're like, oh my God.
Darker than face fucking Hugh Jackman's decapitated head.
No, but
Who's-
probably not. But Drake Bell going through like what he was talking about and all that. But literally, they asked him a question, and he literally was like, "Picture your worst day ever," and that's basically how it felt. And everything just went quiet. So, but this Dan Schneider worked on so many Nickelodeon shows, from all that to Keenan and Kel, the Zoe 101. Literally, he made 2 females share a salary.
Yep.
He literally made like all this fucked up shit. Like literally after the show, like I binged all 4 episodes. I got home from work, watched it till midnight, and then literally I watched the interview with Dan Schneider by one of his former people that he hired, and I actually watched it again with somebody studying his body language. This guy is one fucked up man. This guy is just like, he knew everything that was going on. Like Drake Bell like gave him a pass. He's like, oh, Dan Schneider was he contacted me and all that stuff. Fuck you. Like you're like literally saving this guy's image and all that. Like all these Nickelodeon shows like that he worked on all behind the scenes, like Amanda Bynes. It's all fucked up. Like rumor has it he had sex with her at 13 years old and he had her abort the baby. That's a rumor, but I don't know if it's too far fetched. But like every time this
Is it though?
yeah, she is
I
pretty.
watched the first episode of that. It was on.
Were you gonna say she is pretty hot? Oh my god!
No, I've never.
That's
no,
what I think you were gonna say.
No, what you watched the first episode of Corbs?
Yeah, it was on TBS one night. I watched it and I was like, "Holy!" If you guys don't know who Dan Schneider is, you guys remember the TV show Head of the Class?
Yeah.
He was the heavyset kid in that class. He was a writer. They talked about it in the beginning. He wrote a couple of episodes for that show, and then somebody saw that he had some talent for it and offered him a job with Nickelodeon to write kids shows.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave him access to all these females.
Not just females.
Not just females, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right though, Corbs. Like he hired Brian Peck, and Brian Peck was with Drake Bell and all that stuff, and it just gets like Drake Bell. What he's done recently, that's all on him. That's his choice. But like, what happened to a 15-year-old, and it's just messed up shit. Like literally, one of my friends, like she was like, "You need to watch this. It's gonna be pretty heavy, but just it's pretty interesting. You might want to check this out." And this documentary, like it's getting a lot of publicity right now, and it's well worth a watch. I'm never gonna watch it again, but I definitely recommend watching it for sure.
What's it on?
HBO Max.
HBO.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely 4 episodes. Well, 4 episodes and then a 5th episode recapping and all that. So, but like literally after, like I went on YouTube and because Dan Schneider spoke about it, the person that studied his body language, he literally is trying to backtrack. Like he's like, you know who I am, you know I'm a good guy and all this. So it's like, fuck off, man. Just fuck you. You really mess with these kids' heads. Like, yes, I know this has happened a lot in kids acting. I get it. Like, Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney, they smoked cigarettes and drank coffee on the sets when they were kids. It's always happened to kid actors. So that's all I got. I can talk about this forever.
Yeah, that definitely sounds much better than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
By the way, which I can watch over and over, back to back till the end of
Over
time.
and over
Me
and
too.
over and over.
I've seen it 3
over.
times and I fall asleep at the exact same part in Fellowship. I can't get past that one part.
Next time you start at that spot.
Start at that spot and just go.
To
yeah.
the DVD, you can start anywhere you want.
Who's next?
True.
I'll go.
All right.
The one thing I really watched is I watched the new Roadhouse.
Yes.
Right. So
How was it?
I enjoyed it. It's nothing like the original, and it's not a direct remake of it, and it's not an extension of it. it's it's his own movie. Jake Gyllenhaal was thought he was fantastic in it. He was in fucking phenomenal shape. He got in phenomenal shape for that. I thought Conor McGregor was fantastic in it.
Really?
As the protagonist. He played the protagonist very well. I mean, he's a dick anyways.
He played himself.
Right, exactly. Yeah. He's just a dick anyways. In real life, he's a dick. He just was a dick getting paid to be a dick like always.
Yeah.
So he's good in that part. He's good at being a dick. There were some pretty good callbacks. Danny and I were talking about this when we went to Dungeons and Dragons the other day. There's some good callbacks when McGregor's running through the Roadhouse, smashing the golf club on the table, and he's calling out Dalton. That's the callback to when the girl comes and calls him, when she's trying to get into his loft when she brings him to breakfast, stuff like that. So there were some pretty good callbacks in it. I wasn't too happy about the ending. I don't know if that's going to play into something along. They're going to try to do another one on it, depending on how it does. From what I read, it was the most watched premiere on Prime.
Until Fallout, I'm sure.
I'm sure. It maybe a week or two it lasted, but I wasn't disappointed at it. I wasn't. I wouldn't say that it is better than the original Roadhouse. I liked the original Roadhouse.
We know.
Shut up.
Does Whoopi Goldberg show up to talk to Patrick Swayze's ghost?
That's wrong movie.
Then
Wrong
I'm not
Swayze.
interested.
So, but yeah, that's all. That's really all. And then I've been watching Critical Role.
Nice.
Gyllenhaal there, he had an interview and he paid Swayze some huge, compliments and stated this is not a remake, it's an homage.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
It is really good, and it's kind of got the same concept. They're trying to buy land, and somebody's trying to take over the town that they're in, which is
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
they're not gonna watch it, Kev.
Just go watch it. Yeah.
So
That's on my list too.
you got a long list, buddy.
Jesus Christ, your list probably goes out.
Your
on the
new name
street
is
around the
Long
corner.
List Johnson.
Yeah. I
Because
know.
you got
Look
a
at
fucking
you now.
long list.
All right. I'm getting lost in all this. Who hasn't gone? Just me, or did DZ go?
I didn't go, but
Okay.
I'm watching X-Men 97.
Oh.
I'm watching Critical Role. I'm watching playoffs, NBA and NHL. Not too much else because my kid is at college and his Netflix left my TV, so I haven't really been able to watch anything on Netflix. But I'm just, I enjoy the X-Men 97. I watch it when I eat most of the time. Just because, usually about a half an hour after I eat, I can watch a show and then I can turn it off and then I can play my video game.
Oh.
So that's why I do it.
Nice.
But I like the show. I like X-Men 97. It's just an homage back to the 80s, and I'm an 80s kid, so
90s. Nice. Okay. I've only got one because I pared down my list. We're not going to talk about what I watched on the airplane. And like I said, this was a documentary that yep, you already know where I'm going with this, don't you, Hugh?
It was good.
I watched Bray Wyatt Becoming Immortal, the documentary about
how
Bray
was
Wyatt.
that?
It was phenomenal and it was heartbreaking at the same time. Madison and I watched it together. Well, everybody else was gone Saturday night. We had like 40 minutes left of it. So we watched all of the uplifting stuff, and then we went back the next night to when shit got real, when they talked about his health concerns, and they talked about in awful detail the day he died. And well, phenomenal, and I loved it. I loved the whole thing. I loved everything about it. But that hit way too close to home because it was in the same time frame as when everything went down with my dad. And I'm not gonna lie, when we finished it that night, like it fucked me up for the night. Like I was in a horrible headspace the rest of the night. But I'm very glad I watched it. Like it's so much more insight and respect for the man, and just the amazing creativity that just went through that man's head. And it was really cool to see some of the stuff I got to experience like in real time. Like when he came back at Extreme Rules and we got to see all of the characters, and now we know who was in all those suits and everything. I mean, like his best friend was the one that was in The Fiend, which was a really cool homage and all that. I mean, it was phenomenal. And then the very end, when we get the teaser for what's still to come.
Yeah.
And then apparently on Raw, there was a new QR code.
Yep, they've been throwing those up there.
Yeah, something's happening.
What struck me about that is, as you know, I missed all of Bray Wyatt. That was during the time that I stopped watching wrestling. I watched this just because everybody else says he was so amazing. And at the end of this, I really regretted taking the
Missing.
hiatus from wrestling because I missed something very special.
Do yourself a favor and go to YouTube
Yeah, you
and hunt
mentioned that
down.
to me.
Yes. If nothing else, hunt down the WrestleMania match between him and Cena during the COVID era.
I actually have seen that.
Something that you can never do again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was something that only could happen in that time frame and in that space. And hunt down, I think I told you this before too, all of the Firefly Funhouse stuff. Just amazing, amazing shit he had going. But goddamn, 36 years old.
Wow.
Awful.
Yeah.
So
Talk about a dream match, both in their prime. Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. That would have been pretty cool. Like casket match or Inferno match. That would have been pretty cool.
they had a WrestleMania match. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, but he's
Thought
talking
they
about he's talking about in
Yeah.
the
But it wasn't
yeah.
when Taker was in his
Yeah.
prime. No.
No, yeah.
No. And he still put Taker over because that was before the streak got broke. So
Mhm.
but that was the big one I wanted to hit on. Like I said, I watched some movies on the plane, but there was really nothing to write home about. So unless anybody's got anything else, it's a good time to wrap it up, I think.
I think so.
Oh, you better drop them nuggets.
It's a good thing. There's a trick to being whatever you want to be in life. It starts with the simple belief that you are what or who you say you are. Good night, everybody, and mega money, bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.